Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm, and today we are carrying on our MMO framework series. And if you guys remember, what we did in the last episode is that we are created this awesome UI here with a new character and everything. Now, the thing I would like to do today is that I want to first load the save files and also create the events on all 4 buttons to trigger the events that we need to do it. Right, to do that, let's just get that started. We're gonna go back here to our game, right? And now on the user graph here, I am just gonna bring the buttons here. So I'm gonna get the delete, I'm gonna get the edit, I'm gonna get the play button, right? I'm gonna align everything in line, and everything should be great. One thing I would like to do here is that I don't like to, we need to basically have 3 events, and we can trigger, separate delete, edit, and play. But that will be like copy and paste all the time. I hate copy and paste. I think we can do this in a better way. So what we can do that, and then I'm gonna right click here. I'm gonna create a new enumerator, and I'm gonna call this e dash, let's say, character list action, because it belongs only to the character list. I'm going to use it only here. I'm going to add 3 values. I'm going to add play. I'm going to add, let's say, edit, and I'm going to add delete. And now we can close that, go back to our character list. I'm going to go back to variables, and we don't need this anymore. Sorry, we don't need that. Nice. Now on the event pre-construct, I'm going to delete construct, sorry. I am gonna basically bind EV when the button is clicked. I'm gonna copy and paste, all right? And I'm gonna put it here, I'm gonna put it there, nice. And I'm gonna put the edit, and I am gonna put the play button here. Make sure everything's aligned, everything's settled like that, great. And we can put it right there. Now, the next thing I want to do is that we can create a custom event called API press delete, right? And now we're going to create here an event dispatcher called EV handle character list action, right? This has a parameter, and that's going to be the action, which is the enum that we have created, right? Where's the enum? It's called enum character list action. I always forget the variables I created. Character list action. Now we can just call this thing here, which is great. And now we need to select basically what's the action we try to send. In this case, delete. We're gonna create here a custom event. API press delete, edit. And we're gonna have another one, which is called API custom event called API press play. And now we can just copy and paste that one right here. Nice. Now with one event, we have 3 actions that we can handle on our save method. Great. Now we can compile and save this stuff, which is great. There's anything else that we need to do here? Yes, we need to be able to set our text name. So this is gonna be called title, right? Make sure it's a variable, and we're gonna go back here to our title. I'm gonna get the title here, and we're gonna create here a custom event API set title. Now I'm gonna call this set text, plug it right here, And now what we need to do here is that we need to pass the text from the title, right? And we're gonna compile here. Let me just compile and save that. Now I'm just gonna leave this as a test name, right? And that's it. Now on our main character here, on the main menu, we need to load that data dynamically, right? So let's do that. But first, here's the thing. We need to define how many characters can the player create. And on this scenario, I would say 10. So it needs to start from 1 to 10, all right? So what we're gonna do here is that we are gonna go back to the global function that we created. And we are gonna duplicate the game version. And I'm just gonna call this get max character creation, right? So that's something that we can pass as a variable, and this is gonna be changed to int, and we're just gonna set up the to max, and we can say, let's say 10, right? 10. I think World of Warcraft is 10 or 12, I don't remember, but something around those lines. Now when I press play on the main menu here, not when I press play, but when the widget starts, I need to basically look on my folder to see if I have the save game here, right? And although that's extremely complex, there's a way that we can make it easy, right? Unreal Engine has all this. This is the thing that I love about Unreal Engine, is that you have all those easy methods created for you. Unity has a lot of good methods as well. I worked with Unity in the past, but I think Unreal makes it in a brilliant way, where it's easy to access. You just type on the editor and you find what you need. In Unity, you have to install a bunch of editors, a bunch of things to make things work. And Unreal, since it's a very heavy engine and it's very complex, it comes with everything you need to use, right? I'm not saying Unity is bad. I'm just saying that Unreal is easy for you to use. Once you get a learning curve, of course. But anyway, now on our main widget, if I press play now, we have this blank screen. And the idea is that we're gonna load all the data right here. To do that, we're gonna go back to our graph, and when we load the data here, when we get the data, we're not gonna go do that on the pre-construct, but we are gonna do that on the construct, because I wanna make sure that everything is ready to load the data, even if that means that the player has to wait a little bit longer to get the data right. All right, so how can we do that? First of all, we need to get how many characters do we need, we are allowed to create. So fn gl and get max character account creation. The reason why I'm doing this getting max account character, it's because imagine that we have to read through every single file to make sure that file exists. And if that file exists, then we load the temporary data. That's what we're trying to do here. Right, so what we need to do here is that we need to do a for loop. Not a for each, but a for loop, right? And we're gonna plug this one right here. And we are gonna plug the max here. First index is gonna start on 1, because remember that on when we created our character, it's not here, but anyway, we finish our prefix with -1. That's why I wanted to add 1. All right. Now, how can I check if the load file exists? Right. So we can search for load file or load game or load game from slot or file game or exists. Yes, that's the one. Does save game exist? We only want to load at least the name of things that only exist. All right. And now we are going to basically do that. And we need to basically create the slot here. But what's the name of the save game that we're trying to do? So I'm going to create here a literal string. From this literal string, I'm going to append a couple of things to it. First of all, we need to get here the fn.gl. We're going to get the save game prefix. I'm going to put it down here. Nice. Now, once we have this stuff done, what I can do is I can get fn. No, I don't need anything. I just need to put now the prefix here. Now, what we can do is that we can just print what saves they exist and what saves they don't exist. By default, we should only have 1 of 10. We only have 1 of 10. Great. That means that's working. Now, what we're going to do here is, let me just align all this stuff properly. I'm going to create a branch, right? Here. And now I'm going to, if the file exists, load the data from this string that we are trying to create, right? Put it right there. And now what is going to happen, it's a problem. Now we have a little bit of a problem, because how can you get the name from the file? How can you get anything from this file, right? From this example here, this returns for us a save game object reference. But if you guys remember, our object type, if I remember properly, it's character creator. Oh, it's here. Save game. It's called BP main player save. Now, which means that we have to transform this asset, this object, into the object we need to access the data. So which means that from this node, I'm just gonna paste the name of the BP main player save, and that will automatically cast that data. And now you probably ask, okay, but casting is not bad for the game. We could use an interface here for sure to do that for us. But I feel like this is going to be on the loading screen. And realistically, you do things asynchronously. So also this loading, it won't take too much space of your entire game. It's not that you have a bunch of data to be loaded anyway. So we can probably use a cast. But anyway, if this is a problem, we can always change that to a more complex solution. But let's just stick with a simple one for now. Now, what I would like to do here, for the BP character list, I would like to be able to pass the save game, so I can share like things like the name. I can share like, I don't have to be setting up things twice. So what I can do is on the character list, I'm gonna go back to the graph. I'm gonna create here a new variable called a player save game. And on here, I'm gonna paste the BP player save object reference. Make sure it's public, and make sure you also expose this variable on spawn. All right. Now I'm gonna go back here to the designer, and that's fine. I don't need to do anything else. And on the event construct, I can get my save game that I passed, and I can get my title, and I can set the text. And I can break this. I can get the player appearance, and we can break that stuff, and we can put the name right there. All right. And now we can go back to our main menu. Okay. And here is something that you guys probably haven't learned yet, but basically you need to find a way to inject a widget to the vertical box all the time. And the way we're going to do this is by using the parent, by injecting children's on it, and then we're going to be able to loop the data. So we're very close to get that thing working. We're very close to that. It's not going to take too long, I promise to you. So now what we need here is we're going to first delete this vertical, the content. Instead of calling this vertical box, I'm going to call this save game slots. All right. Slots. Nice. This is going to be, it's a variable. I'm going to go back here to the game. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this. And I am going to append add child. Yes, that's the thing we need to add. And in here, we need to create a new widget. So we're going to create a widget. And now we need to append this widget right here. Now we still have to select what widget we would like to create. And in this case, it's called WBP character list. All right. Now I'm going to plug this one right here. I'm going to compile and save this stuff. And now we should have a slot with my name there. So if you guys want to test if this is working properly, right? What we're going to do here is that I'm going to delete my save game here. So I won't have anything on it, right? Now we're going to, you know what, let's hook up that button to create a new character. So this one is the easy thing here to do. So when you create a new character here, where's the event reconstruct? Just gonna leave it right there. I'm just gonna get the button. Gonna bind event on button clicked, right? And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna create your custom event. And we're gonna call this API load creation level. Right, and I think what we can do here is we can call the method called open level by object reference. And the object reference that we have here is called the character creation. There's a couple of parameters that we can pass here, like travel URL and things like that. But we're not gonna get to the game instance side of it yet, because we need to basically carry our information using the get game instance. And we need to set information to the game instance, or, you know, set game instance. And then we carry, but we're gonna get this to that in a sec, in the next one. So now I'm gonna press play. I don't have a character. I'm gonna press new character, and I'm gonna call this Mario test. And this is going to be whatever the color. I'm going to press save. So we do need to add a feedback as well. So one thing we need to do here is that to add a feedback to tell the player that your game has been saved, and then we send him back to the main menu. But imagine that we're doing that. So I'm just going to leave, and I'm going to press play. And now I have my player saved with all the data I needed. So that's a very exciting point of our lesson. You guys basically created an asset for you, like you created a full character creation, right? We haven't even started to build the server side yet. We already have a feature built. The next lesson, what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna work out a little bit about validations, screen transitions, and the most important thing of all, I'm gonna introduce you guys to game instance transitions. That's where it allows you to transfer data from one screen to the other in a very simplistic way, right? But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next one.